Hi, what we're going to talk about today is some etiquette and some superstitions of the game. Sometimes what will happen is the game will be going and someone will have the dice and someone will walk up to the table and all of a sudden the shooter, they'll be, look at
I
this.
want to buy in for 300.
This is something you just don't want to do. This is just very poor etiquette, your lack of respect for the person shooting the dice. If you're going to play the game, wait till the table is clear and free and you can get complete attention from the people dealing the dice. So basically what you want to be able to do is just wait your turn and then get into the game at the right time. Along with that, some of the superstitions that come up sometimes is the dice. What will happen is the dice are going to be thrown and one of the dice will go off the table. In fact, sometimes both the dice go off the table. And all of a sudden, they're going to say, sir, would you like the same dice? And people are very superstitious, and what they'll do is say, yes, I would like the same dice. So what happens is that dice that did come off the table is a no-roll situation, so it means nothing. The dice will go back to the center of the table. The supervisor or manager of the game, whatever you want to call them at that time, is going to check the dice, make sure that basically none of the points in the dice were broken or rounded off. Hypothetically, that really could happen. And so they want to make sure that the game stays legitimate. So on that, many times, superstition-wise, people will ask for the same die because they think that when they drew those dice the first time, they were meant for them to be a winner. That's why they don't want to get new dice from the bowl. One of the other things that comes up quite a bit in the game is once the point has been established and that puck goes to the opposition, now, of course, the game or the shooter is trying to make that 5 before that 7 actually appears. So some people will never want to talk about the 7 because the 7, after that come out roll, they don't want to hear the 7. So the last thing you want to do is come up to a craps game and start yelling, come on, baby, give me that 7, give me that 7, because you know what? You're going to make a whole lot of enemies at that game. So that would be something that you just want to basically be quiet, and hopefully that shooter will be making his point.
Another thing that the stick person should never do is pass the dice to the shooter with the 3, 4, or 7 showing. A lot of people consider that to be very bad luck, so they want the 3, 4 or the 6, 1 on top showing. If they do that, they'll turn the dice over, or a lot of times the shooter will take the dice and switch it himself.
One of the things that happens quite a bit is when the dice are at the other end of the table, they'll have their hands and they'll be bending over, as you can see here, where this gentleman's hands is heading over the chip rail. And so what's going to happen is those dice are going to come up, and if they hit his hands, a lot of times the 7 could appear, and basically what's going to happen, the superstition is because it hit your hands, it obstructed a clear view or a clear run of that dice roll. So what's going to happen is they're going to blame, and there's a superstition that kind of goes with that. That's why when you're at a craps game, you always want to keep your hands behind the rail so that you're not going to have to interfere with that.
The other thing is when the dice are in the center, like here, where the stick person will keep the dice until he passes, that's when you should make your bets. The dealers and most of the players do not like it when they pass the dice to the shooter and then you're starting to make more bets in between, and it's disrupting the shooter and the dealers. So that's not considered proper etiquette at the table.
Now, once again, the things we're talking about around the table, they are all in the manual in the book, of course, that we are trying to get people to read. As I said, it's very important for you to understand the right way to play the game, the right bets to make, and what you need to do when you walk up to a craps table. It's not just some drunken brawl to have some stupid time with. It's a time to really, if you really want to play the game right, to understand the game, the odds, the superstitions, and get the most out of the game that is available. Everything we talked about is in our manual. This manual does cover from the beginning through the end of the game. This manual has over 40 years of experience both with David and I playing and teaching the game.
You can order this manual at our website, www.walkawaycraps.com, or you can send us an email at walkawaycraps@gmail.com. Thank you.